For TraderInsight.com, I'm Adrian Manns, and it's time for your daily dose of the doctor. Let's take another look at those news-based trades using Trade the News as our cue to get in and out of the market. First off, this is TradeTheNews.com. I think, based on some conversations I've had with some of you, what we are going to do is bundle up some Trade the News subscriptions with a subscription to the First Hour Trading Pit. That's going to make it a lot easier for some of you to use the news-based trading services. I've got no problem at all doing that, so we are going to load up Trade the News right on the TraderInsight.com homepage, and you guys can take advantage of that bundle. Those are going to be some very long-standing relationships, so I think it's just good business to do it. But more on that later. Let's go ahead right now and take a look at a takeover chatter rumor that was circulating on SanDisk, ticker symbol SNDK, yesterday. I'm sorry I did not get a chance to put this together for all of you yesterday, but I did record it, and here is the recording of the live trade. So here we had that news alert. We see that SanDisk spiked higher, drove up through that R1 pivot, got all the way up to the R2 pivot. Right now it's coming up against it again. It had come down through. We want to see that pop. We want to see it come up and try to tag the pivot again. If it does, we're going to short it right there. And then I think what I'm going to do this time around is show you guys how to trail some stops. Had somebody ask about doing this with lighter share size, maybe 500 shares instead of 1,000 shares or 2,000 shares. No problem. Let's do a live trade that way, show you what happens in terms of controlling your risk and projecting your profits. So here we are. We're right underneath that pivot. Let's go ahead and get our order set up and go ahead and pop it in there. We see that we've got, of the 500 shares that we popped up, 200 got filled instantly and the balance got filled within a second or two. Again, I'm using Realtick as my trading platform on this stuff. Whatever trading platform you use, and just make sure you've got the ability to do directed orders and you are going to be fine. Now we are trading right around that entry price. Really, at this point, the only thing I'm thinking is if it gets up above that pivot line again, then I'm going to go ahead and put the brakes on the trade, right? Stop out for a very small loss. But as we see right here, we started moving in our direction. So I'm going to change this to a trailing stop. Once I've got an open profit that is somewhat significant on 500 shares, right? What I'm going to do is go ahead and figure out what the average travel range of these bars is, about 15 cents or so, and load that up as my trailing stop. Now, you don't have to do this. You could use that 68.49 pivot as a target and then ratchet down a stop behind that, or, there's any number of things that you can do on these, but in this case, just a very simple trailing stop. And we see we've got about $120 open profit right now on the 500 shares. And let's just see how this one plays out over the course of a few minutes. As the trade has progressed in our favor, what you've seen happening is that Realtick keeps ratcheting that stop down. So what goes on here is every time we put in a lower low, right, because we're short this stock, it's going to pull the stop loss in behind that lower low so that we have a 15-cent offset from our best profit. So we're always willing to give back about 15 cents per share as this thing comes down towards that pivot. And ultimately what you're hoping, of course, is that you hit 68.49 and get taken out at your profit target and that there is no trail on it, or once it gets to 68.49 that you're just trailing 15 cents behind it. With the market wiggling around a little bit in this one and a 15-cent allowance for that wiggle, you've also got a fairly good probability that you're going to get taken out on some sort of a reversal here. So you've got a couple $100 open on this one. We see that we're coming into that 68.49 level. Now you expect that you're going to see a reversal here. So you could grab that line and pull it down so that when it pops off that pivot, you lock in the profit. And if it crashes through the pivot, you are able to stay with it. But in this case, what I'd really like to do is just make sure that everybody sees how the trailing stop works. There you go. You got taken out of the trade. Got a nice little profit on a 500 share order. $135, $140 or so. That's not bad for 5 minutes work. And once again, it's just about sitting back and waiting for the right opportunities to come from that Trade the News feed. And I'm going to cover a lot of what it is that I'm looking for in some webinars that we're going to do, as well as in our course on how to trade the news. You can expect to see that course somewhere around the beginning of July. In the interim, if you're interested in trying out Trade the News, go ahead and pick one of their subscription packages, and we will throw in the first hour trading pit for 3 months to get you up and running as quickly as possible. So if you have any questions, shoot me an email, adrian@traderinsight.com. I hope you had a great trading day today and an even better one on deck for tomorrow. The best trader education anywhere, only from traderinsight.com.